Hey guys, welcome to Protocol Point. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a AWS RDS database in our AWS console, and later on we are going to get connected to it by making use of some tools, connectivity tools. So in this tutorial, I'm going to cover everything like selecting the right. So just sign in into your AWS console and you will see this page. So just go to search and search for RDS and you will see this Aurora and RDS, that is Relational Database Service. So just select it, and here you can see a option for creating a database. So just click over here, okay, and you will be in this page. Okay, so there are two options for creating a database. One is a standard creation and another is easy creation. So in easy creation, it is very easy. You just need to select the engine that you want and the type of package you want to install, and then just move it to done. Okay, but here you do not get any other configuration. Okay, so here in our this tutorial I'm going to make use of standard creation because I can just show you the different kind of option that we have. Database engine from AWS console for RDS and setting the configuration to make it publicly accessible by using the URL. So let's get started. So just sign in into your AWS console and you will see this page. So just go to search and search for RDS and you will see this Aurora and RDS, that is Relational Database Service. So just select it, and here you can see a option for creating a database. So just click over here, okay, and you will be in this page. Okay, so there are two options for creating a database. One is a standard creation and another is easy creation. So in easy creation, it is very easy. You just need to select the engine that you want and the type of package you want to install, and then just move it to done. But here you do not get any other configuration. So here in our this tutorial I'm going to make use of standard creation because I can just show you the different kind of option that we have. So over here you need to select a database engine that is being provided by AWS. So AWS provides various kinds of database engines like MySQL, PostgreSQL database, MariaDB, Oracle database, Microsoft SQL Server, and IBM database too. So in this tutorial I'm going to select MySQL database. So you can select anyone. The configuration is one and the same. So I'm going to select MySQL database, and then if you scroll down you will see a option engine version, that is MySQL database engine version. So I'm going to select 8.4.6, that is the latest version been provided by AWS. So just select, but it depends on your project requirement. You can just alter it and select any one of them. Then comes the template selection. So there are three options being provided by AWS. One is production, another is dev and testing, and another is free tier. So in production, it is when you are deploying your project in the production for the end user. That time it is very useful because it is high availability and very fast with respect to this both. And when you are testing your application, then you can make use of dev test. And if you are a student and if you are practicing AWS, then you can make use of free tier. So that there are differentiation. So in free tier you will get only one option, that is single AZ database instance development. That is one instance. One database will be created without standby instance. So standby instance is basically a backup of your EC2 instance. So whenever there is the data insertion in this, there will be a standby, and you can just replicate the database, whatever is there in that. You can make use of it as a backup storage device. So next comes dev and testing. So in dev and testing, all the threes are available. You can select either of them. So let me come to the second one. So here you can see multiple AZ database instance. So here we can create two instances. So once you create this primary instance, you can just replicate it and create a standby mode. Okay, so standby mode is basically a backup of your database. So whenever there is any action being provided or event happens in this database, the same will be available over here. But you cannot read any data from here because it don't have any endpoint. You can just keep it as a backup of your data. Okay, and then we have this one. That is the last one, that is multiple AZ database cluster development. We have three instances over here. So here it provides options like read endpoint. Okay, so this is your main database and these are your backup database. Okay, so suppose if you are using this as your main database and you are inserting everything over here, okay, and if you want to implement a analytics or some other application that you will be using as a part of, for example, machine learning or something, then you can perform this database to get or read only the database. So you can see over here readable standby. So you can read any data from here, but you cannot perform actions like insert, update or deletion. So only read options is been available over here. So I'm going to select free tier over here. Okay, and then you just need to name this instance. You can just name it anything. Okay, and then the main thing is credential settings. So here in the credential, you can just enter your master username by which you want to connect to your database. So there are two options basically over here. One is self-managed mode, where username and password you will be creating, or else AWS can handle that thing. Or in AWS, you just need to create a authentic encrypted key, and by using that key, you are going to get connected to your database. So in our case, I'm going to make use of self-managed. So I will just enter my password over here, password, and confirm the password. Okay, and then scroll down. Here you can see instance configuration. So your database speed and what is your configuration of your database server, you can just configure it from here. As I have selected this free tier, I have only one options. You can see burstable class. Okay, so this is very low configuration. You can just select. If you want higher and higher configuration, then you just need to go with dev or testing. So if I select dev, you can see I will get more options like standard class, memory optimization, like this. So you can see the RAM also will get increased, CPU also will get increased over here. It depends on your project. You can just select it, but for practicing purpose, I suggest you go with the free tier mode, because I will just show you the price of this database. If I scroll down, you can see it is in US dollars. So just scroll up, take the free tier for practicing, enter the password, confirm the password, enter the username, and then here I'm going to make use of burstable class. So I will just select the lowest one. Okay, 1 GB RAM and two CPUs over here, and the network speed will be 2000 Mbps. Okay, and then comes the storage. So storage of your database, you can just select the storage over here. Okay, so magnetic database or SSD. So I prefer SSD for this generation. And if you select a magnetic, then your cost might reduce. So let's check. No, I cannot see the cost because it is in free tier. So I will just select general purpose SSD, and the allocated size will be 20 GB minimum, and maximum you can set it to 6144 GB. And additional storage, so here additional storage configuration, you can just make use of it. Okay, so here you have options like auto scaling. So suppose if your database get increased and storage get increased by somewhere around 18 GB, then auto scaling will automatically get triggered, and you can just increase the size of your storage. Okay, so in this case I'm going to do this thing. Okay, 50 GB. So if my storage gets filled, then auto scaling will work and my database will automatically increase to 50 GB. Okay, so this is the configuration. If you don't want, you can just disable it. And then the connectivity, so there is no need to worry about this, because we are not integrating this database with the EC2 instance. Okay, so you can, if you are using EC2 instance, you can just get connected to your EC2 instance over here. So we don't need this option, so just keep this part. Okay, and the main thing over here, public accessible. So you just need to do it yes, because if you want to access your database by using a URL, and if you want to perform any operations to this database, you must enable this option. Okay, so make sure it is enabled. Okay, so now there is VPC security group to be applied over here. So I don't have anyone, so I'm going to create a new. Okay, so you can just give the name as security RDS. Okay, so you can just name it anything. So preferable zone, you can just keep it non-preference. Okay, and then so you can see additional port configuration, database port, you can just update it. So by default MySQL database port is 3303. Okay, if you want different port, you can just update this thing. Okay, I will just keep it as it is. Okay, and then comes the database authentication. So over here there are three kinds of authentication being provided by AWS. One is password authentication, another is password and IAM database authentication. Okay, so you can just make use of them. And there is another password configuration, that is Kuber. You can just make use of this. So in our case, I'm going to make use of simple password authentication. So we have gave the password authentication above, right? So that is the password, username and password. So once you do that, there is another option called monitoring. If you want to see the logs of a database, how much operations has been happened and how much there are any errors or something, you can just enable it. Okay, so in my case, I'm going to just ignore this thing, I don't want. Okay, and then additional settings. So we have additional settings over here. Okay, so over here you can just set a initial database name. So I will just name it as my first database, my first DB. Okay, you can just name it anything. So this database will get created over here. Okay, so if you don't create, it's okay, you can just connect to your database without this. So in my case, I'm going to create it. Okay, and I don't need any backup. I'll just off it. Encryption, enable encryption, fine. Okay, and then just click on create database. Okay, so once done, it might take some time, so you can just cancel this thing. Okay, so it is getting created. It may take 2 to 5 minutes of time. So okay, so the database got created successfully and you can see the status, it is showing available. That means you will be able to get connected to this database. So let me open this, and here are some configuration you just need to note. So over here, connectivity and security. So over here you have an endpoint and a port number. So this endpoint is basically a URL through which you can get connected to your database. So let me show you how. But before that, we are going to know about few things. So here you can see a security group has been created, and if we see, there is a TCP IP configuration and the port number enabled is 3306. So by using this port number, you will be able to get connected to this database. And then here in the configuration, you will get all the details like what is the storage, how much CPU it has been using, what is the RAM, and admin password will not be available over here, and the database name. Okay, so this is not a concern, you can create as many as database over here, and this is the engine version that you have configured. Okay, so now let's go to connectivity and copy this endpoint, that is the URL. So to get connected to this database, I'm going to make use of a software, that is Beekeeper Studio. So just install it. So to install it, just Google Beekeeper Studio and just download it if you need. Just download this from the official website and it is free to use. So just download it, I have already done that. So just open and new connection. So here you can just select the type of your database. So mine is MySQL. So just select it. Authentication will be username and password, host name and port. Okay, so inside this host name, paste your and URL, that is the link of your database, and the port number is 3306. Enter it, and this is the SSL certificate enable, so in our case it is not required. So if you have, you can just turn it on and you can just add a certificates over here and enter the username. So my username is admin, and the password and the default database name. So in our case, my database name is this one, this database name. But if you want, you can keep it empty, you will be able to see all the database names. So it's your choice. So I will just not enter it, just test. Okay, so connection looks good, connect. Okay, so now I got connected to my database. So from here I can select my database. You can see my database, my first database is over here. Okay, so now let's perform some basic SQL queries. So you can just enter your queries over here, like create command, create table name, and then you can just do it. So as I'm using this Beekeeper Studio, I can just do it from here directly. So add my, I can just name this table as my table, remove everything, and I will just add name, first name like this, last name, and just click over here, create table. Okay, so the table will get created. So similarly, if I want to enter something, I'm not sure, means I'm not familiar with this tool to use, so I can just make use of insert command in this query line. Okay, run. So one row affected. Okay, so similarly, if I want to select star from my table, so select star from my table, you can see I get this entry. So this is how you can create your own database in AWS console, and you can just get connected to it.